Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. Another great weekend of Bears baseball. There was some rain on Saturday, so a couple teams got their schedules messed up. A couple teams only got to play 2 games, but still had a lot of Bears baseball to be played, especially on Sunday. And we had another 3 championships in the book, including A.U. Nickerson, who has won every tournament they've played in so far this season. This team has just been cruising. They are definitely a step above their competition on the defensive side, and this entire lineup can hit top to bottom. And I'll tell you what, I got a chance. This is the first time I've gotten to see this team play live this season. And I'll tell you what, they are much improved from where they were last year. And they caught some traction at the end of last season. They were playing really good baseball toward the end of the year. But I would say even from that point, last fall, this team looks much improved. I mean, top to bottom, the whole team can hit. And they were making plays on defense, which was really, really impressive to me. So 18U Nickerson, 13-1 on the season, have won in every single tournament they've played in. Great job from them. 12U Byrne was victorious on the weekend. Their championship got rained out, but they were the highest seed in the championship game, so they take home the championship trophies. 12U Byrne, a very nice weekend, KJ. Obviously, this is your age, and it's always good to see your lower-level team competing because that tells you a lot about the guys you got coming up. Give me your thoughts on 12U Byrne so far this season.
Oh, yeah. If you've watched that Byrne squad in years prior, they've kind of been like this team that would just go out to play baseball for fun. And if you went to the game this week and you see they're much more competitive this year. They're taking it a lot more seriously, and they're having the best start to a season they've had in a long time. So they've been awesome.
Yeah, really good vibes in the dugout. I mean, that team really does play with their hearts, and they've been playing really good this season. Another tournament victory for 14U Floyd. They were absolutely dominant this weekend. This is off the top of my head, but I believe their score this weekend in their 4 games combined was 59-2. They were absolutely dominant. 14U Floyd doing their thing. Bernie, this team, I mean, it feels like every time they take the field, they're the better team on the diamond, and they were absolutely dominant again this weekend. Bernie, what is there to say left with 14U Floyd?
I mean, yeah, I'll say the same thing I say every week because I feel like I talk about this team literally every week on this show. Best top 5 maybe in the Bears, with Landon and Jack, Ivan, Willerette, those guys, Benny Combs, and the pitching staff so far has been great. This team just continues to be dominant. Yeah,
and, we've talked about this pitching staff kind of pieced together. They've been doing a really good job. Well, now that high school ball's over, they've added their 2 guys, 2 of their big pitchers. Andrew Driscoll and Alex Ruppel are back in the rotation, so this team is only going to keep getting better going forward. All right, one quick note. Please make sure you send your hacks to bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com. We've had a couple people send in their videos to GM Rob. A couple people send them to my personal email. To guarantee they get on the show, please send them to bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com. I can't guarantee they will get on the show if they go somewhere else. So that is bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com. See the email there on the screen. But let's go ahead and check out all the hacks that got sent in to Bears Baseball Network and at gmail.com. It's everybody's favorite segment. It's hacking time.
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a city doing it, I got it on the up along with Benjamin. Money is the topic, love. The money turned me to a monster. The money turned me noodles and a pasta. The money turned me tuna and a lobster. They wanna do me, I'ma know it like a monster. I put my jeweler on his feet. $100 used to do that every week. Never sleep, it's funny how it never speak. You see a foreign in my city, that was me. That was us. Never sweet. We went to war, just right from down the street. Popping that pistol, they talking and never did. Dropping the nickel, I tell them we'll never see. Stop it. Sitting on that money like a champ. I been getting to that money all year. All year, in my all here. But we started from the bottom, we was selling hard squares. Bad bitch in the game, weighing my chain. I'm ready. Switching them lanes and that Musain like Andretti. I do the Balmain, Balenciaga, no Giuseppe. If they sleep on me, Millie, I kill him like I'm Flacco Freddy. I eat that like a monster. She gon' ride it, she need a sponsor. You can tell I'm feeling from my posture. And we be whipping coca like it's pasta. I be on money. 2 million, 4 million, no, I need more money. I get that. See a bad bitch and be like, how you doing, money? They like, how you doing, honey? The money turned me to a monster. The money turned me noodles and a pasta. The money turned me tuna and a lobster. They wanna do me, I'ma know it like a monster. I put my jeweler on his feet. $100 used to do that every week. Never sleep, it's funny how it never speak. You see a foreign in my city, that was me.
And how about that Garrett Knight with our hack of the week, his first career over the fence home run. A fantastic job, a great story on Garrett Knight, and he continues to do his thing. Let's go ahead and get out to our standout performers of the weekend. We've each got 4 standout performances. We're going to go through them rapid fire and go ahead. Bernie, if you've got the mic, go ahead and you get things started here. Your first standout performer of the weekend.
My first standout performer is from 14U, that 14U Floyd squad. Jack Dalton, who goes for a 1.9 OPS. It was almost a 2 with a couple extra base hits and continues to be a menace at the top of that order.
My first player is going to be from 13U Bell. Deron Phillips has been hot lately. He went 4 for 6 this weekend with 3 doubles and also had 3 RBI.
I'm going to go down to 11U and go with Owen Lewis. He did it on both sides of the ball, 6 hits at the plate with a 1,600 OPS, and on the mound went 4 innings with 5 Ks.
Bernie, your second standout performance.
Go back to 14U Floyd, Andrew Willeret, but Andrew Willeret, the pitcher, he has emerged as one of the better pitchers on the squad. Those another 5-inning shutout for them on Sunday.
I'm going to go with another pitcher. Braden King was pitching for 14U Driscoll this weekend. 2.2 of no hits, no runs, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. Braden King, a dominant outing this weekend.
I'm going to go with Lucas Wilburn. He had 2 doubles at the plate, around a 1,400 OPS. On the mound, he went 4 innings, 7 Ks with just a 3.5 ERA.
Bernie, your next standout performer.
I'll go down to Youth Prep, the 10U Floyd squad. Owen Dobritsky, who went on the mound this weekend, had 2 walks and 6 Ks. That 10U Floyd team. I've been saying for a while, I think this guy might be the best pitcher on the team. He started to show it this week.
Yeah, that 10U Floyd team's been looking for arms. Owen Dobrinsky's been fantastic in this start. I'm going to go with Landon Meyer, another monster weekend. He was my standout player of the week last week, and another good weekend here. 1914 OPS. He had another over-the-fence home run. He had 600 and also had a scoreless inning in relief on the mound.
I'm going to go to that champion Burns squad. I'm going to go with Gio Palucci. 6 hits at the plate, 1,800 OPS. On the mound, he went 4 innings, only allowing 1 earned run on Saturday.
And Bernie, your final standout performer.
My final performer from 14U Floyd, Landon Nickerson, who hit 2 absolute bombs on a pretty decently sized field.
I'm going to go with Josiah Leaker, who continues a very nice pitching season. 4 innings, 7 Ks to just 1 walk and only 1 earned run.
I'll go to Ivan Saxon. He went 7 for 10 at the plate, scored 7 times, and drove in 7 runs.
Now let's go ahead and move into our Standout Player of the Weekend. Each of us have chosen one player that we nominate as the Standout Player of the Weekend. Bernie, give me your Standout Player of the Weekend.
Yeah, I'll go to my 11U squad. Of course, it's Harrison Blebaum, who had 6 hits, 4 of which went for extra bases, and an OPS that was just about 2.
Yeah, fantastic weekend for him. I'm going to go with the previously mentioned Garrett Knight, 4 for 6 at the plate, a double, a home run, 4 RBIs, a over 2,000 OPS, and also caught really well on Sunday. I think we don't really talk about his defense. He's been a very solid catcher this season.
I'm going to go to that Nickerson squad. I'm going to go with Blake Nickerson. He had 7 extra base hits, going 15 for 18 at the plate. That's an .833 average.
Yeah, he was absolutely monstrous this weekend, as was the entire lineup for 8U Nickerson. All right, let's go ahead and get into the prospect report. This week, we've been keeping a look at some of our players that are on our second teams and our third teams. And here's the question of the week for our prospects. We're each going to pick one prospect that will be a big splash on a varsity team at some point in 2023. So, once again, a prospect is any player without 50 career plate appearances on a varsity squad. Bernie, let's start with you here. Give me one prospect that you think will make a big splash on a varsity team in 2023.
Yeah, I'll go to 13U, and I'll take Trevor Anderson. I think early in the year, before the season even started, it was kind of like how polished was this guy. The tools were there. You see the power. You see how hard he threw off the mound. But could he, consistently throw strikes? He's shown that, week after week after week, that he's going to at least throw enough strikes, Get a lot of strikeouts with the bat. I don't have the stats in front of me here, but the past couple weeks, I know he's been heating up very quickly.
Yeah, Trevor Anderson, he's one of those guys that the body, the power, the athleticism is all there. The question was, this guy hasn't played a lot of baseball in his life. He hasn't played a lot of competitive baseball. So how quickly was he going to be able to adapt to the tournament baseball? And I'll tell you what, he's been raking and he's been dealing on the mound. Trevor Anderson, I think, is a great pick. I'm going to go with Kobe Kennedy. He's been probably, I believe he was our prospect of the month, or at least second place hitting prospect of the month in April. He was in the top 3 somewhere. He was a monster in April, and he's continued into May. And listen, I know 14U is stacked. I know there's a ton of names here. But if there's one thing Rob Floyd likes, it's a guy who can hit. And I think Kobe Kennedy can absolutely mash. He's hitting over 500, over 1,500 OPS. He's been mashing at the plate. And I think at some point, I think he's going to get a shot, and I think he's going to perform when he gets there. KJ, give me one prospect that you think will make a big splash on a varsity team this season.
Well, we keep talking about this guy, and it's got to be Garrett Knight. And, defensively, he's a solid catcher, but what's going to get him to the top team is definitely that bat. Obviously, what he's doing on burn right now, hitting for all that power, it's very hard to ignore, and I think at some point this year he's going to break in that lineup, and he shows some power on the top team. I think he could play a big role in the top team eventually by fall.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I know you were all over Garrett Knight in the preseason, and now that he's actually starting to put that into fruition, I think you definitely got to look at him. All right, let's get into our high school storylines. Our high school Bears take the field this weekend. 15U Dalton, 15U Byrne, 16U Burnsville, and also does 18U Smith start this weekend or do they start next weekend? Do you know?
Not 100%.
They start next weekend? Okay, so just our 15 and 16U teams take the field this weekend, and then our 18U teams will take the field next weekend. But either way, high school ball, obviously very exciting. I know youth ball obviously is super fun, but it feels like the high school baseball is the real deal when it comes down to it. So let's get into the number one thing that you're excited about for the high school Bears season. KJ, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that corner outfield battle on 18U Floyd. Mac Floyd's probably going to be the one patrolling out there in center field, but there's a ton of different ways you could go to the corners here. You got Sam Wortham, you got Sean Ferguson, you got Ronick Selby, you got Nathan Sandler, and a couple more guys, but there's so many options you can go. I know Clayton Kyera as well. There's so many different routes you could go there for the corner outfield spot. I think it's gonna be a dogfight to see which two pull out in those outfield.
Yeah, a ton of names. Chase Acker, Reese Payne can play some outfield as well. So a ton of names in this outfield, and I agree, KJ, it's gonna be very interesting to see who comes out on top of that battle. Bernie, give me the number one thing you're excited for this season.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to watch this big 3 on Dalton return here with the pitching staff with Elijah Underwood, Tegan Kryler, and Evan Osborne. These 3 guys, I mean, I think they are the best 3 pitchers in Bears high school, and I would argue that they are the 3 best pitchers in all of the Bears, and they're all on the same team that won 70-plus games last year. Last fall, all these guys were under 2 ERA in the fall. almost no walks for any of them. All of them had a ton of strikeouts. I think these three were all in top 4 in Cy Young voting in the fall. These three are going to dominate again this year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just expect when those three take the mound, you just know you're going to win. And I'll tell you what, it is very fun to watch. If you are a fan of pitching, definitely go watch these three. I'm going to go with the high school home run race. Our guys have been making a lot of noise on their high school teams. Several guys have hit balls over the fence for their high school squads. Jack Roberts, Vince Dalton, Mac Floyd, several other guys. I know Brendan Nixon's hit home runs for his high school team in the past. Ty Zazawaita. I mean, there's been a ton of home runs. Clayton Kyera has been mashing. A ton of home runs from our guys on their high school teams. I'm excited to see that race translate into summer ball because all these guys are going to be having fun, hitting balls over the fence. And with all the names I just mentioned, plus some that I didn't mention, Tegan Kreitler's got home run power. Caleb Calmeezy's got home run power. Alex Hobson, a ton of different guys who are going to hit big home runs this season. I'm just excited to watch the home run race and see who comes out on top of that one because I think there's going to be a lot of guys competing. All right, let's get into our weekend series pick'em. Looking at last week, it was a dominant victory from KJ, who put up 14 points. You had 2 first places. You also got a tie in the bonus and had 2 second places. Bernie, you took home 11 points with 2 first places. You got half of the bonus, and then you had a tie for second place. And then I was bringing up the rear with just 3 points. I had 1 second place and 1 tie for second place. The winners of each category. The hits category was won by Ivan Saxon for you, Bernie. Ben Combs won the extra base hit category for you, Bernie. KJ Logan Eckert won the 0 walk innings category for you. And Dylan Graham won the walks plus hit by pitch category for you. The bonus was which team will lead the weekend in triples. It was a tie between 14U Floyd, which was one of your picks, and the other team that tied was... KJ, do you remember who you picked? It was 11U Burnstill. Was the other team that tied. That was KJ's pick. So you guys each got 2 points for that. All right, let's get into our categories for this weekend. RBIs, doubles, innings pitched, and contact percentage are our 4 main categories. Our bonus category is going to be team with the best run differential. Okay, so once again, cannot use any player you've used this season, but keep in mind that our high school players all returned, so they are in the pool. Again, 18U does not play this weekend, so don't pick any 18U players. All right, the picking order is KJ 1, Bernie 2, Robbie 3. KJ, you have the first pick. What category are we going to first?
I'm going to start in doubles.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to 13U and go with Landon Meyer.
Okay, Landon Meyer, the pick for KJ for doubles.
Make sure I haven't used this guy here. I'll stick with 13U, and I will go with the other big bat in that line. Give me Parker Ells.
Respectable pick, Bernie. Respectable pick. For me, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go straight to high school ball, and I'm going to take a guy who I think is going to be a doubles machine this season, Andrew Engelken, for Burnsville this weekend. All right, KJ, what category next?
I'm going to go to RBIs, and I'm going to go with another Landon Nickerson.
Obviously a great pick. He's the RBI leader so far this season. Bernie, your pick for RBIs.
Make sure I use this guy again. Okay. I will stick with 13U. I will take Lucas Wilburn.
Oh, wow. You haven't used Lucas Wilburn yet. That's a big bullet. He's used here. RBI machine. For me, I'm going to go with one of our high school guys. I'll be the first one to take, or I guess I'm the second guy to take a high school guy because I just took Engelken. I'm going to take Jack Roberts. I think that Dalton squad's going to score a lot of runs, and Jack is going to be right in the middle of that order, driving them in. All right. KJ, where to next?
I'm going to go to innings pitched here, and I'm going to go to a big strike thrower, always consistent, Santiago Story.
It's a great pick. The fourth of the big 3 there on Dalton. One of the most underrated pitchers in the Bears, if you ask me. Bernie, innings pitched here. Do you go with a big 3 guy here?
Thought about it, but not gonna lie. If you wouldn't have picked Andrew Engelken for the doubles, I would have picked him here. That was my game plan coming into this. So, because I coach 16U, I know this guy's getting the ball on opening day. I think he goes out there and shoves. Give me Hazik Majid. Very underrated guy.
Yeah, it's definitely a good pick there, Bernie. Sneaky pick. Definitely not necessarily a superstar, but a guy who I definitely think can steal you second place, if not win this category. So I think it's a very solid pick. I'm going to go with a guy that I was very surprised I haven't used yet this season, and a guy I'm happy to use here, Evan Lancaster, who I think is going to go deep into a game this weekend. All right, finally, contact percentage, KJ. Who's going to put the ball in play this weekend?
For contact percentage, I'm going to go with Andrew Willeret.
Definitely a guy who is known for putting the ball in play, hitting the ball hard. Bernie, your pick for contact percentage.
That's a big bullet. Let me go to my 16U squad here again. This guy always puts the ball in play, I feel like. Give me Aiden Warndell.
Okay. Interesting pick there. Aiden Warndell. Again, not really a big star, but a guy I definitely think could steal this category. I'm going to go the same route, Bernie. I'm going to go with a guy who, very underrated, a guy who's very good at putting the ball in play, and not a big name, but I think can win me this category. I'm going to go with Garrett Perkins. Has a over 90% contact percentage on the season. All right. The bonus category, what Bear team will have the best run differential? Again, it is not the best differential of us three. It's got to be the number one team in the entire Bears on the weekend.
I think there's only one right pick here. I'm going to go with 14U Floyd.
Okay. Bernie? I've got two teams I want to use, Bernie, so if you don't use either of them, or if you use one of them, it makes my pick really easy.
Yeah, man. I guess I will go with the the high school team back in town around here, the 70-plus win team from last season. Give me 15U Dalton.
Yep, that was the one team I was debating, so you made it easy for me. I'm going to go with 13U Floyd. I think they're due for a very dominant weekend here. All right, that's going to do it for the weekend pick'em, and that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network. A ton of Bear baseball to watch with all the high school guys back in action. So be sure, if you are a family member of a younger player, go check out our high school teams because there's a lot of good baseball to be played at that level. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to you all next week.